Welcome to Sensory Strategies to help you reduce your stress. So, what we are going to talk about in this video is how to engage your five senses, your sight, your smell, your hearing, your touch, and your taste to help you stop the stress cycle and get you some relief and get you back into your present body when stress starts to take over. So, I'm going to walk you through a practical exercise first, and then I'm going to go into some specific strategies that you can use per sense to create a sensory experience for yourself. And this, out of all of videos, this is to me one of the most fun because I love engaging my senses to help get myself relief. Because what I'm doing is essentially tuning back into myself. I'm tuning out all the noise from the chaos by engaging with my senses. Okay. So here is a quick practical strategy that you can use in any setting. So whether you're in the office, whether you're in a boardroom meeting, if you're in traffic, this is something you can do at any given moment to help yourself bring your stress level down by connecting back into you. So I like to do this in moments where, let's say, the stress has gone to level 10. Maybe I have this influx of anxiety. I feel really out of control. This helps bring me back into that safe inner world that I'm in full control of. So how this works is we are going to think of I see, I hear, I touch, I smell, I feel. Okay, so we're going to engage all of those senses. So here is a very practical way to describe this. I'm going to give you an example. So I see a red car. I smell fresh cut grass. I hear birds chirping. I feel the inside of my shirt. It's very soft. I taste the mint that's in my mouth. So you can see how what I did is I basically just stopped focusing on all the thoughts that were racing and creating so much stress and anxiety. And I tuned into things that were in my immediate environment to help bring myself back to the present moment and take myself out of that rapid fire thought process that's happening that is creating that immense stress that we are feeling in our body. Okay. So here is another way you can do this is you can basically look at anything, right? You can go into anything in your immediate area and think of this almost like I Spy. So we're playing I Spy with this. So you're looking, you're seeing, you're smelling, you're just engaging all of your senses to get out of your head because when you're in your head, you're dead. And get back into your body. All right, so that is a super easy way you can do this. I like to also bring in tapping to it as well, because that's another way you can increase your presence and connection to yourself. So you can literally just be sitting in a boardroom. I see, I touch, I hear, I feel, I smell, and just go through this again and again and again and watch your stress level actually diminish. And something I like to do just to gauge if this is working is, let's say I started off at a level 10 stress. So it is the highest it can possibly be. How is it actually reducing each time I do this sensory exercise? So you can say, okay, that brought it down to an 8. Let's do it again. Okay, that brought it down to a 6. I see, I hear, I touch, I smell, I feel. Okay, now we're at a 5. Every time you're reducing, it's working. So just continue this process to get yourself the most relief as possible. Okay, so that's the overall quick, easy, tactical one where you can just do anywhere. And once again, nobody has to know that you're doing this. This is for you to help yourself in moments of stress. Okay, let's talk about how to engage each of the senses independently so that way you can really take this work to the next level. So we're going to start with sight. Think of this once again as I Spy. Have we all played that game? I Spy with my little eye, right? So this is going to be the stress melting edition of that game. So by pausing, getting present, and really engaging your sight, once again, you're going to redirect your brain away from all of the racing thoughts creating the stress and to something more calming and more soothing. So that's going to help you to see something that brings through that beautiful feeling of peace, to feel safe, to feel just very calm within your body when it feels very out of control. So a couple things that you can look at specifically. You can look at something that you love. So I love keeping a picture of my son on my phone. So at any given moment, I can just look at this and here's, he's super smiley right now in this. And I see this and I'm like, oh, and I just feel that flood of endorphins because I'm looking at a picture of something that I love so much, or someone I should say. So you can do this with anything. It can be a picture of your family. It can be from a vacation, any moment. Just keep those things in your immediate surroundings. So whether it's your desk at work, whether it's on the wall, just somewhere where you can see these things. Because when you are in that sight line and looking at someone whose presence makes you feel safe, bring your gaze to them because that's going to help get you out of that stress response cycle. So another thing that you can do is look at something in your immediate environment. So you can just look and pick something up off your desk, right? It's like for me, I always have a pink lipstick within hand's reach because that's one of my favorite colors. I love pink lipstick. That's what I used to develop so much of when I used to work in beauty. So I can look and say, okay, this is a pink lipstick. This is how this packaging looks. Cool. There's flowers on it. What's the shade name? How does it, I can bring it smell. How does it smell, right? Because what you're doing is once again, looking at something, studying it, really understanding, oh, this is smooth because you're taking your brain away from the racing thoughts to something physical, something tangible that you can touch to essentially distract yourself from that stress cycle. So you can also do that, like it can be be a large item, small item, whatever's in your immediate environment, just look at it. You know, it could be this pink cup, another pink cup. Have you noticed the theme here? I really like pink. So you can do this in nature. You can look up and see, oh, look at that cloud and study the shape of the cloud and really get present with it. You can do that with birds, sunrises, sunsets. You can look at leaves. You can look at water moving. Whatever it is that's in your immediate environment, look at that. Another thing that I love is looking at your fur baby. So a fur baby is another way to really just observe them at play, observe them at rest, get those good endorphins going, because of course you love your fur babies, right? So those are a couple ways to engage sight. And one thing I want to note is your brain is going to continuously bring you back to the racing thoughts. That's just what it does. That's how our brain works, right? It's going to keep going to those stress-based thoughts, especially if you think them regularly, because for a lot of us, we think thoughts so habitually that it just becomes our normal operating system. That's the greatest hits album. It's just what it plays. So for our brain, it's easier to think those thoughts than to not think those thoughts, especially if you're a catastrophizer, right? You're somebody who goes all the way to the worst case scenario and you're like, okay, I got on this plane's definitely going to crash, right? So you're thinking all these thoughts. So when you get into that space where your brain is just racing, know that that's normal and your brain is going to keep taking you back to that place. What your opportunity is to consciously keep coming back to, okay, this pink lipstick, picture of my son, right? Pink cup, like you keep coming back to that moment to keep redirecting your brain to break the stress cycle. That is going to take continuous committed effort to be present with your sight. This is a practice. So give yourself a lot of grace and space as you learn this. It could be frustrating in the beginning. It's like, oh, I just want the thoughts to go away. Okay, keep redirecting. Think of it like an inner game of tennis. There's a book called The Inner Game of Tennis. It's such a good book, but definitely just keep redirecting those thoughts back to that place of sight. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about touch. So activating your sense of touch is another way to really redirect your brain and take you out of that stress-induced, anxiety-induced thought cycle that you are experiencing that's creating all of that tension and chaos in your body and help you to decrease and bring yourself down. So I have 3 specific activations for you to try. The first is a texture focus activation. So what I want you to do is, we can bring your fur baby back into this, pet your animals. If you want to touch a pillow, something that I love this pillow, right? I bought it because it just looked so cozy. If you want to pet your pillow, it might feel crazy. That's okay. You are doing this to help yourself. This is not for anybody else. This is for you to do for yourself to get yourself relief. So touch this. Just notice that calming texture soothing you. It already is doing this as I'm touching it. If you have something like a worry stone, I love carrying one of these with me at all times, because this one, it's actually, I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to put it up to my light. It's glittery. And what it has is an indentation in the center, so you can run your thumb over it. So I take these with me when I travel. I always have one in my purse, because even like if I'm standing in the line at DMV, I'm just like, oh my God, I want to get out of here so bad. I'll start activating my touch, because this will help me to self-soothe. So you can do this also, like if you love your texture of your couch, if there's, I have a weighted blanket on me that's super soft, you can touch your weighted blanket. Anything you do to activate touch just to self-soothe is a really beautiful practice for yourself. The second application that you can do is a water-focused touch exercise. So I have 2 options for you on this. One is you can wash your hands, alternating with hot and cold for 30 seconds each. So this is going to help you to stimulate you to put the fire out, right? Because I'm sure once all those racing thoughts are in there, it feels hot on the inside. Those thoughts are coming in hot. So you can take that sensory exercise and just warm for 30 seconds. Just run your hands under the water for 30 seconds, close your eyes, breathe, then shift to cold, right? Then 30 seconds, breathe, and then it's going to start to bring you down. Another thing you can do with water that I absolutely love is taking stress showers. Have you heard of this before? So what I love to do, and you can do this in the bath too, is I'll just sit under the water and I'll picture all of that stress just melting away. I'll picture all of the water just washing that stress away. And I'll actively turn this into a visualization to get myself relief and put distance in between my racing thoughts and what's happening in my mind and the physical sensation of stress in my body. And it's so beautiful. You can also combine scent into this as well to get another full body release, but to really just picture all of it just washing away from you through the act of cleansing yourself with water. So try that. And then the third modality that I have for you is EFT tapping. So this is the emotional freedom technique, emotional freedom tapping, where essentially you're tapping on specific energy meridians in your body to move the energy through. So what I would advise you to do is, if you've never heard of EFT before, go on YouTube, start studying videos. We're not going to do a deep dive on this today, but I want to at least show you where the energy meridians are. So what I like to do is tap to something I want to release, or I'll tap in a different thought that brings me relief and calm. Maybe it's, I'm okay right now. In this moment, I'm safe, right? And I'll start tapping on it. So these are the energy meridians that you want to tap into. So the top of the head, and I always like to tap with 2 fingers, right? So you start tapping at the top of the head, then you bring it down to your eyebrow and you kind of go around here. Then you go to the side eye here. Then we go under the eye here. We go under the nose. Then we go to the chin point. Then we're going to our collarbone here. And then we go down into under our arm. And then we do, people call this karate chop, right? So you want to do this on both sides to get an equal release, but this is really going to help to move the energy through your body in a very powerful way. So if you've never studied EFT before, I highly recommend this as a tool to keep in your toolbox. You can go on YouTube, just type in EFT, you're going to get a bunch of support there. And one thing you can do too, if it feels like it's too much to take on the learning of what EFT is you can just press in to specific pulse points on your body. So like on the back of your neck, you can get your temples. And I love combining this with any sort of essential oil. So I'll put the oil on and then I'll just press into that space and like breathe into that space, because there's something so soothing about really just giving yourself that nice, super gentle massage just to get yourself the relief from the racing energy and tension in your body. Okay, hearing is our next sense. So, what I want to recommend is for you to make a calming and soothing playlist. I can offer you one. I have one through Spotify. So, tap on the link in your toolkit and it will take you directly to this playlist. But I have this on my phone. I use this all the time. I actually have a playlist for every emotion that I want to feel. But this was something that really helped me when I was commuting. So, if I was, and I live in LA, I commuted on the 405. For all of you that are in LA, you know, you know. So I had to tap into this playlist to keep myself together, because there were so many moments I wanted to lose my shit. There were so many times my road rage went to a level 10. I'm like, where is my calming playlist, right? Same thing when I travel. I could feel a lot of anxiety when I'm in spaces with a ton of people. It's overwhelming for me. I feel energy from people. So I bring myself into my inner world. I'll close my eyes, I'll put this playlist on, and I'll tune everything else outside of me. And it gives me back full control over how I'm feeling in that moment when I'm overstimulated or overstressed because of the presence of a lot of energy in a room. So you can also focus on external sounds. So let's say you're in an office and there's a lot of chatter. You hear clicking on the keyboard. You hear people having a conference call over here. You hear people laughing over here. There's these people at this desk gossiping over here. There's this, meeting happening over here. You can turn all that into what I call your white noise soundtrack and just allow all the sounds to come in and just turn it into one universal sound. This takes practice for some people if you've never done this before, but I love doing this because then in any situation where I'm triggered by somebody's scent, somebody's scent, really, somebody's sound, maybe someone's on like a FaceTime. I hate when people do that, right? Like they're in public and they're FaceTiming or they're watching a YouTube video or playing a game. I'll just take all that in and let it become the soundtrack of my moment. And that helps my brain not to make it a problem where I feel so out of control and I can't make this person be quiet. And I feel like, so anxious and so stressed. So I'll just turn it all in, take it all in, and make it one universal soundtrack that is really informing the moment that I'm living. And that helps to bring my stress down. So these are 2 ways that you can really use sound to help anytime your stress spikes. So your sound is going to bring yourself down. Also, binaural beats, I believe that's how it's pronounced. That is going to be something that is incorporating sound waves. So you can go on YouTube once again, just type in binaural beats. I always get this pronounced wrong, so forgive me. And what it's going to do is it's going to take sound waves, so alpha waves, beta waves, theta waves, and this taps into different responses in the body to help yourself really feel good from the inside out. So that's another way you can bring sound in to really get the maximum relief. Okay, let's talk about smell. So we have nerve endings inside of our nose that are in contact with the air that we are breathing. And when we connect with scent molecules in the air, this is going to tap into primal parts of our brain that control our emotion, our memory, and our sense of pleasure through our olfactory system. So I used to develop products in the beauty industry. I've developed a lot of lotions, a lot of, personal care products. Scent was one of the most powerful ways for me to connect with you as a product developer. So what I was doing was creating an experience for you through the scent that I was infusing into the product to make you feel a certain way. So an example of this that a lot of hotels do that most people don't realize is they have a signature scent that they infuse into the actual hotel itself. So as you're walking through, it's like, oh, I smell the smell. It smells so good. And you're registering the scent. And that is to help you connect that experience to the scent. So that way, anytime you smell that scent, you're thinking of the hotel that you were just at. Scent, for so many of us, myself included, is such a powerful way to recognize, to help really make yourself feel safe in the environment that you're in. by smelling something that really makes you feel cozy and makes you feel secure, or it might be a nostalgic scent that brings you back to a very safe and peaceful time when you were in your childhood. So scent is so powerful. This is why fragrance is a billion-dollar industry, is because we are so just captivated by scent. So what I love to do is I use a lot of essential oils in my life. I literally have a basket of about 50 of them. I travel with what's called the Pocket Pharmacy from Sage Wellness, and this includes little rollerball oils. So this one specifically is actually for stress. I love this one so much because what you can do is you can see on the top, there's a little roller ball. So you can just roll this onto your pulse points, rub it in, and then breathe. Oh, feels so good. Or on the other side, this for me as a product developer, I'm like, whoever did the packaging on this was really good. They made a dropper so you can put the oil directly into your bath. You can just put it into the sink as you're washing your hands. You can just drop a couple into any, diffuser that's next to you. So this is a really beautiful way to bring scent with you as a form of therapy. I travel with this everywhere I go. I literally have two of them. This one is a mindfulness edition, so there's actually a confidence oil. Dying, like, love it so much. I love these so much. There's diagrams on the inside too that tell you how to actually use these to engage your olfactory system and where to put them on your body. Love this brand. They also make an incredible inhalation mist. So if you want to use this, like let's say you're having a stressful moment, you just spray a couple spritzes, breathe in, and just receive the benefits of the scent. So this is a beautiful way to once again get yourself out of that stress cycle. And a couple specific scents I want to tap into that a lot of us just as humans find to be relaxing and calming and soothing are lavender, chamomile, clary sage, sandalwood. I have a sandalwood. Oh, this incense, incredible. It's super cheap on Amazon. I want to say it was like $2 for this whole thing, and there's 56 in here, but very powerful. Cedar, bergamot, neroli, frankincense, lemon, and peppermint. So you can use any of these scents to engage your senses. If you have a garden, you can go out, pick rosemary, pick mint. If you have anything growing fresh, and just smell the fresh herbs, that's another beautiful way to really ground in and use natural scents to help yourself. So you can put this in a diffuser, a room spray. It can be candles. I've got different candles for every mood, every feeling. Also, the color matters to me. So I have, uplifting colors. I have colors that are vibrant and bold to help increase my energy. I have calming colors. So once again, engaging scent and sight to help myself through the sensory experience. So you can put these in the roller balls. You can go outside and just get a whiff of nature, whatever you want to do. Scent is so powerful. Okay, our last one that we want to cover is taste. So let's talk about taste. I love infusing taste you can either do this in one of two ways, but what you're going to do is you're going to think of a taste, or you're actually going to taste something that brings you comfort. So something I love to do if I'm in a moment of stress, I'm like, oh, what would be something delicious I could imagine eating right now? And I'll direct all my attention to how this would taste. I also do this with tea. So I love this brand of tea. It's Magic Hour. If you are local here in LA, this is an incredible company that is based in Ojai, California. I go there all the time and get ceremonial teas because tea for me is life. I have an infuser that I carry around with uplifting quotes that says, hey girl, you're amazing, because I want to remind myself of this all day, every day. So I'll literally put the loose leaf tea in here, and then it just stays warm all day. It's so comforting. It's so cozy. It just really helps to soothe from the inside out. So whether it's imagining something your mom used to make for you, and it's something that you just close your mouth and you just let that taste, just imagine it's in there and just swirl it around, or you actually go make the recipe for yourself. Either way, when you're engaging taste on a very powerful and intentional level, it's going to once again help you to get away from that racing stress mind and back into your body through engaging your senses. So let's recap. All of your senses, when you tap into these, are going to help reduce those symptoms of stress and worry and anxiety because you're getting fully present with your senses. So try the exercises that I gave you. Look at pictures of people you love, create a comfort food list, create your calming musical playlist, have 3 items around you that you want to touch, have your worry stone, right, that you want to touch that will help to self-soothe at any moment, have your calming scents within hand's reach, and just do this anytime you need a moment. Anytime you want to bring that stress down, engage your senses. Okay, we will talk more about how to cleanse yourself of stress in the next video. I am so excited to continue to give you even more tools to help you melt away your stress.